Today we're talking about children or toddlers with chronic sleeping problems. I'm here with Jo Ryan, who's a parent consultant from Babybliss. So Jo, what do you do if your baby just doesn't want to go to sleep without having you there in their bed?
It's a problem. It's a common problem for toddlers. They often started at a younger age sleeping with their parents, and they're into that, and they now won't sleep in their own bed. And it's really important, I think, for children to have their own space to sleep in, their own bedroom and their own bed. It gives them a sense, their sort of private area, that's their space. The way to start it off is you have to be quite gradual, especially if the child's been sleeping with your bed for most of their life. So I would start by putting them in their own bed, but with you lying next to them in their own bed until they go to sleep. So you do that for a couple of nights or a couple of weeks until you feel that the child's ready to take the next step. Then you start off by sitting beside their bed. So it's like a gradual weaning them off you. Because if you do it too quickly, the child can actually respond with quite badly. They get quite bad separation anxiety if you just all of a sudden plonk them into their own bed. They've never slept in their own bed before. So it's quite scary for them, and they get quite insecure. So it's like a weaning process. So you start by lying next to them, then you start by sitting beside the bed, then you can sit at the door, you put them in the bed, and you say, I'm just going to sit at the door until you go to sleep. And then you stand, after a couple more days, you put them into bed, and then you stand at the door, and then you can put them into the bed and you can leave the room, telling them that you'll pop back in 5 minutes just to check that they're okay. And this gradual weaning them off you works very effectively for children that haven't slept well or haven't slept in their own beds at all.
Do you find there's triggers that can stimulate fear and so forth that make them want to be with their mother?
Yes. Often children will say, I'm scared of my room, there's a monster under my bed, and those sorts of things. So it's good to get them to enjoy being in their space. So during the day, in the daylight hours, play with them in their bedroom and play things that they really enjoy with their favourite toys and their favourite games, and you interact with them. And then after a couple of days of doing that, be there with them, but let them play on their own. You do other things so that they know you're in their room, but you're not interacting with them. And then try and get them to play in there while you leave the room, come in and out. So it's about getting them used to their bedroom, making it a fun thing, something they're not afraid of. You can also do things like get them a comfort toy, like if they have a special toy or a special blanket or some sort of comforter, that's good for them to sleep with that. And you talk about it all the time, how it's really great that they're sleeping in their own bed. Aren't they big children, aren't they wonderful? And reward their good behaviour. If they do stay in their bed, make sure they get a reward for that. It can just be a little thing, or you can do a thing where you have, like, if they stay so many nights in the bed, they get to choose their own reward. And so you can have a chart for that, like a reward chart for that.
So it's instilling a level of independence in them as well.
It is, and it's really important, I think, for children to have their own independence from their parents. That's your bedroom, that's your space with your partner. They need to have their own space and their own bedroom.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Jo. If you'd like to speak to Jo about anything she just discussed, you can contact her on the email address below.